Sometimes in life, talent on its own is not enough to make it at the highest level of anything, and especially in football. Managers demand a dedication in terms of fitness, work rates, and commitment to their club. At Manchester United, it is almost a prerequisite, and those who do not fall in line end up paying the price with a lack of playing time. However, when it comes to the club, Manchester United, and Donny van de Beek, he has done none of these things to get himself less playing time, and Solskjaer still fails to start him or even bring him off the bench game in and game out. Hey guys, We Talk Football here, and today we look at Donny van de Beek's struggles at Manchester United. Donny van de Beek may feel that he has stepped up and worked tirelessly to improve his fortunes at Manchester United after a frustrating debut campaign, but it certainly feels as though the Dutchman still needs to convince Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that he deserves more playing time. The 24-year-old arrived at Old Trafford with a reputation as one of Europe's most exciting midfielders, helping Ajax reach the Champions League semi-finals in 2018-19. Real Madrid had been keen on the box-to-box midfielder before Manchester United stole in and sealed a $35 million deal with the Eredivisie giants. A goal on his debut against Crystal Palace in the shock 3-1 home defeat on the opening day of the 2020-21 season was not enough to keep his place in the side. He would go on to make just 4 starts in the Premier League last season. The difficulty is seeing where he fits in. Bruno Fernandes is United's undisputed playmaker. He creates, scores, and roams around pockets of space in between midfield and attack. However, the rest of the positions in the midfield are fair game, especially considering Scott McTominay's injury and concerns over Fred's form. Van de Beek spent several weeks across the summer working closely with a personal trainer in Amsterdam to bulk up so that he could cope with the physical nature of the Premier League. When he returned, his United players joked about his increased muscle mass, but it was noticeable. Solskjaer, though, was nonplussed and continued to leave him out. United spurned several loan offers for Van de Beek towards the end of the transfer window, and that would suggest that the Norwegian is keen to keep him around and play him. When asked about why he did not play against Leeds, Solskjaer replied, "Donny has worked hard. He's done really well. He will get his chances when the season gets going. We had Carabao Cup games, a game every 4 days. We've had a week every game. I can't say any other way. We made the decision when you start as well as you do, you don't want to rotate too much. That's the decision. Nemanja started ahead of Donny. What Van de Beek must do is now try to make himself undroppable, and in doing so, he could take a leaf out of the book of former cult hero in these parks, Park Ji-sung. The South Korean was a low-profile figure among Sir Alex Ferguson's star-studded squad when he arrived from PSV Eindhoven in 2005. He was not particularly gifted with the ball, but Ferguson saw his value. Park became renowned for his incredible levels of athleticism and work ethic in Manchester United's midfield. In matches of high magnitude, he would be chosen ahead of regular players because he was guaranteed to run himself into the ground. More importantly, Park's contributions to collective team efforts were recognized across the board. When speaking about the former midfielder's career at Old Trafford, Wayne Rooney paid a glowing tribute to his former colleague, insisting he was as important as Ronaldo. It's crazy, but if you mention Cristiano Ronaldo to a 12-year-old, they would immediately say, yeah, he was a brilliant player for Manchester United. But if you say Ji-sung Park, they may not know who he was, yet all of us who played with Park know he was almost as important to our success. Park was an integral member of the squad, and even if his playing time was more sporadic than others, his energetic displays lived long in the memory, especially for Rooney, who remembers the Champions League tie in 2006 and 7 when he faced Andrea Pirlo in the midfield and kept him quiet. I remember Fergie's team talk before playing AC Milan. He literally said to Park, "Your job today is not about touching the ball. It's not about making passes. Your job is marking Andrea Pirlo. That's all, Pirlo." But bringing this back to the man who is in question right now, Donny van de Beek and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. How does this story relate to him? Van de Beek is not the player Park was. He's not a tireless box-to-box midfielder. He's a playmaker, a visionist, a mix between Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba. And of course, Solskjaer will have doubts, as playing too many attacking players in your midfield with Pogba, Fernandes, and Van de Beek will cost him defensively. However, players can change their positions. Solskjaer knows that the most, as he played alongside Ferguson, who changed players' positions like it was nothing. Solskjaer could develop Van de Beek into the midfielder, either box-to-box or a little more defensive and ball-playing minded. But to do that, Van de Beek needs playing time. Whether being any cup game, every Champions League game, or sporadically in the Premier League. He needs to get on the field. Solskjaer is ruining the career of a man who was on the top of his game at Ajax and came in hopes of greener pastures at Manchester United. Any kid in the early 90s in which Van de Beek was alive was watching Manchester United growing up. Whether you hated or loved them, Whether you saw them as a rival or a fan, you watched Ferguson's men and you saw the capability of what those players could do. Van de Beek wanted to be a part of that dream. He saw something at Manchester United, and Solskjaer has not given it to him yet. Will it ever happen? For Van de Beek's sake, let's hope so. Because at this point, whether you're a fan of Manchester United, a fan of Donny van de Beek, or not, you have to feel bad for him. And if this isn't the season that he gets playing time for Manchester United, you have to say that it's time to go.
He has to go, blood. He has to go, blood.
Anyways, let us know in the comments down below. How do you think Solskjaer could line up with Van de Beek, Pogba, and Fernandes in the midfield if he were to do so? Or is there another formation that you would line up Manchester United in to include Donny van de Beek? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you guys in the next one.